Hello there, spinsters. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jana June and I like to make stuff. I had a work event where I had to use a specific designer's fabric to make some kind of garment to wear. I chose this fabric and did a few different sketches and then finally landed on this one. It is a slip dress with an asymmetrical hem. Originally I wanted it to have a cowl collar, but since the fabric is cotton, it wouldn't have the right drape, so I switched to a v-neck. I'll be using a free slip dress pattern from Mood. The link will be down below with a few alterations to fit my design. Without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, we have to put the pattern together. So I printed it out and lined up all the pieces, cutting off the excess so I can line them up perfectly, and taped it together. I am smaller on top and bigger on bottom, so I highlighted the lines I wanted to cut out since it was multiple different ones that I sloped in between. I'm laying out the pattern piece on the bias, a 45-degree angle, and trying to figure out which direction I want it to go. I'm using a ruler to help make sure I'm on the true bias, and I'm tracing around the pattern on both sides, so I flip it over to trace it around the entire way and to create my new hemline. Cutting it out this way instead of putting it on the fold like you normally would helps to make sure that you are actually on the true bias. I used the front piece that I already cut out to help me figure out how to cut out the back, making sure that it is on the opposite bias. Otherwise, the dress could kind of twist around on the body. Shout out to my very important turkey leg socks. Now I'm cutting out the front and back facings, both on the fold and the straight of grain, and also the straps. Next, we sew up the side seams of the front and back of the dress, as well as the side seams of the facing. We also need to sew up the straps. After sewing up the straps, I cut down the seam allowance to make it easier to turn them out. I couldn't find my loop turner, so instead I used a hand needle, put some thread on it, stitched the edge, and then I slid the needle through the tube and eventually was able to pull it out the other end. Next, I serged both the side seams of the dress as well as the facing and the bottom of the facing to keep it from fraying. Then we put the dress and the facing right sides together and put these straps in place while you sew around the entire neckline. I tried it on and realized I needed to take 5 inches out of the straps, so I went ahead and fixed that. I hung the dress up overnight because on the bias, fabric can stretch and warp, so you want to do that before you hem it. I cut the dress a tiny bit short, so I decided to serge and do a single turn. Normally, I would do a double turn hem on a dress like this. It would probably help if I actually threaded my machine when I started sewing. I'm top stitching all around the hem of the dress about a 1/4 inch away, and voila! Honestly, this dress turned out pretty good. If I were to make any changes, I would have preferred for the direction of the angle to go toward where the point went, so opposite. I don't think I had the mental capacity when I was laying it out to figure out the best way to do that. If I were to redo this dress specifically, I would make an entire lining out of like a slippery lining fabric to help reduce the cotton from like sticking to like shorts or anything that I wear underneath. Bias cut does have, you know, some rules, but there's no reason not to try. If you enjoyed watching me put this together or learned something in the process, please like and subscribe. I post most Sundays right now. I'm Jana June, and I'll see you soon.
Hey, gorgeous.
Hi.
Look at you. Damn, we're looking fall.